What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rewind Smackdown show, where myself and my co-host RN run down this week's highlights and lowlights from professional wrestling between WWE and AEW. We have a very special show lined up for you tonight, because not only did AEW host Dynamite Grand Slam from Asher Stadium, we also had one of the weirdest endings to a WWE pay-per-view in some time. That took place last night at Extreme Rules. Once again, my name is Kyle Tyson, and I have RN here. What's going on, RN?
Not much, boss man. What's good?
Oh, not much. Having some fun talking about shitty customers at work, and your boy having an awesome touchdown, man. But oh my gosh, man, what a week we've had. Hey, you know what? It looks like we finally got through a wrestling week. If I'm not mistaken, we didn't have no crazy controversies take place this week. I don't think anyone canceled.
No.
I think
No one died.
Twitter, for the most part, kept its head cool about this week. Maybe not so much about last night.
That's par for the course for any WWE pay-per-view.
Right. Look, man. So here's... You know, you see the joke out there. The pay-per-view was WWE rules, because there was only one match that was no DQ, and it was the main event. I'm going to start off the show with this. All right. What the fuck does WWE have to do to earn people's respect? We've spent, personally us, for the whole inception of this show, bashing gimmick pay-per-views, shoehorning stipulation matches for no reason. So we get a gimmick pay-per-view called Extreme Rules. So we attach it to the main event. WWE's done this with other pay-per-views. The one that comes to mind the quickest is Fatal 4-Way, which had a Fatal 4-Way main event. Makes sense. And then the rest of the matches were good matches. They were really solid matches, and people lost their mind because WWE didn't attach stipulations pointlessly, which is something they'll complain about. What?
Well, this one wouldn't be pointlessly, though, because the whole point of Extreme Rules from the inception of this fucking pay-per-view is the matches are supposed to be ECW-style Extreme Rules matches. So this is the one time of the year where they would be okay shoehorning stipulations in, and no one would give them shit for it, because that's what this pay-per-view is. And it didn't happen.
Oh, man. Either way, I think overall it was a good pay-per-view. We'll get into it a little bit more. I think this episode's a rewind. Me and RN kind of, we talked about this behind the scenes. We're going to not really cover the whole week of wrestling. We've learned that, like, pretty much once you have a pay-per-view, that's you guys don't really care about our full breakdown of Raw and NXT. Right. So we can quickly comb through it. The two shows, shine a little bit of light on something that was nice. Like, I mean, we got to see the Bloodline versus the New Day. That was really good.
Yeah, that was, I don't want to say history-making, because I feel like that's kind of a step too far, but as far as dream matches goes, that was definitely one you could take off the fucking list for sure.
And similar to what happened with Bryan and Omega later in the week, we didn't get like a definitive finish, so you can keep this on the back burner for an actual pay-per-view. That's AEW's thing. Like, they give you just a little taste, and this I will give them credit for. When they do stuff like this, they always give you an off-putting ending, not like super like crazy like WWE's, but they give you some sort of smazzy ass finish, and they completely abandon it for months, and then they'll leave you with breadcrumbs to where it goes to that when they decide to go back to it. So they do that really well. So I mean, that's why at first I thought about like, what the fuck, and then I'm like, they're probably saving this for a bigger pay-per-view. Right. And that was the impression that I got from Bobby Lashley interfering and pretty much throwing the stick in the spokes of this match, and I thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Another highlight for me, pretty much the only other thing that really stuck out to me was the new tag team of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Yeah.
Wow, man! Did big surprise? 2 family members have the same style of professional wrestling, have natural in-ring chemistry, both
Right.
with their personalities in action. Like, goddamn,
crazy how somebody grows up with each other and they have chemistry in the ring. Crazy how that works.
yeah, man.
I just want them to match. I just want them to give them matching gear. And not that I hate those mashed up fucking songs they do. Just make them a real tag team. You got them together. You see they got crazy chemistry in ring. Make them an actual tag team, because since you don't really have any on the whole fucking roster. So, I mean, that would be good to do. Am I overthinking it?
No, I just think WWE's process is backwards.
Yes.
They create the team first, go, does this work? And then, several weeks into it, okay, we might give you something unique about you guys.
Right.
Like it took what, 2 months before Mansoor and Ali got like an official entrance and stuff like that.
Shit, the bar too, really. I mean,
yeah, they do it backwards. They don't unveil like, here is a repackaged tag team. Here's the thing. Is like, no, let's just dip our toes in the water and see what happens. And hey, I mean, it's a small gripe, but I agree with you. I think it should be the other way around.
right.
NXT for me, honestly, nothing like to my memory stuck out more than just Braun Breaker is a star like already.
That was my opposite. Like, I think that they're rushing this. I think his promos are borderline ass, and his in-ring work is kind of sloppy to me. But I'm like out on that fucking limb by myself, so I don't. I'll take it.
Braun, dude, he's a Steiner. How do you not see that he is a fucking?
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I see the potential there.
It's like Dragon Ball Z when they do the fusion.
Right.
He's got
literally
of Uncle Scott.
Literally, but looks like his fucking dad.
He looks like his dad.
Yeah.
Dude,
and I'm thinking that's another reason too. Like, dude, why don't you use his fucking name? Like, don't tell me if you gave them a cameo or something to get on their good side that they wouldn't let you he wouldn't give his son permission to use their fucking name, because I know they own it or whatever. But like, I get that's one of the main things that kind of threw me off from the beginning. Like, you packaged him to look like his dad and his uncle, and then gave him that ridiculous ass, stupid ass name. And then on top of it, like, he should not be on the mic. He should have a mouthpiece. I'm sorry. He's not ready for prime time.
Dude, it's been too long since we've heard Scott Steiner's voice.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get enough. Dude,
he does. I can't even front on that. He sounds just like, I thought he was about to call like Big Papa Pump's in the building. Like, I didn't know what the hell he was going to say. Like,
God knows. The only thing that makes sense to me is that, like, they have some estranged relationship with Scott Steiner or something.
Right.
I mean, I see Bama and Vanessa from Putting You Over. They both kind of share a similar opinion that maybe WWE wants Braun to pave his own way, not off the back of the Steiner name. I don't know, man. I don't
think that's it at all. They literally
Steiner adds so much value to it,
right?
Man.
And every third generation, second generation star they have, they always bring up their family.
Yeah,
they don't give a fuck about paving their own road. You literally use that name to springboard them or to give them some sort of credibility. Yeah. It's money. It has to be money with Vince.
What was oh god. God damn it, I don't know why his name's slipping me right. Kurt Hennig's son.
What is that? Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel, right? So yeah, he never got the Hennig name. Remember they stuck him with like McGillicuddy?
Yeah, and then they cut that shit and gave him his dad and his grandpa's name.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It still did it. Like,
well, right there, maybe there's hope. Maybe right now, Braun Breaker is just in the McGillicuddy stage. You know?
Shit, even Umberto and him and Angel Garza, they bring up their family and their heritage.
Yeah, man. So that's really all I have for NXT. Is just Braun Breaker to me strikes me as a star.
I guess my other thing too is Dynamite. Roddy Strong finally getting a cruiserweight title, and us finally getting Malcolm Bivens. He hasn't been unleashed yet, but by then, I'd say within the next 6-7 months, people are gonna see the shit I've been talking about him since I've been on this show, and see how that he's literally as good as Heyman.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I wonder what's going to happen with Kushida in the future. Kushida feels just like a really odd fit for WWE in general. It's just he is such a like a New Japan guy.
Should have went to the main roster.
Huh?
Like I said, I think he should have went directly to the main roster because even NXT at that time he didn't fit NXT either.
You know, the second he goes to the main roster, they're gonna shoehorn some time traveling gimmick into the 24/7 scene. Like he's gonna show up when the 24/7 title was unveiled, and somehow like rewrite history. I don't know. Like they'll do something stupid. Main roster ain't gonna do shit with him. In my opinion.
I just feel like he had a better chance on the main roster than he did on NXT.
I don't know. I don't agree with you on that one. I think you're crazy.
That's what gimmicks work, man. Gimmicks don't work in NXT.
That's no. Look, you got a point. You got a point. I will say that. All right, Dynamite Homecoming. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
God knows that. Jesus, between the fans, dude, the photographs of the state is gorgeous.
My older brother was there, and he was sending me pictures all night.
Yeah, Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Yep.
According to, what site am I on? OnTapSports.net. They said AEW set a record for 20,177 paying customers on that show. Goodness gracious, man. It's a lot of people. The biggest talking point away from Dynamite was Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson.
To me, that was the biggest talking point of the week.
Yeah. I think you and I both agree that's going to get our match of the week, right?
For sure. Anybody that doesn't have that, you're either a hater or you just don't like actual wrestling.
Yeah.
Seriously, we go through this every week. AEW's not my favorite show by any fucking means, but that was by far the best match of the week. Maybe so far best match of the year. If we're talking about just strictly in ring, through all the storytelling and bullshit out, just strictly in the ropes, that match was fucking top notch.
Did you see? I didn't look into it, but it looks like I saw it all over Twitter today. That it looks like everyone's saying hell froze over. That the fucking Grand Slam essentially made Jim Cornette a fan.
Right.
Cornette apparently came out, heavily praised the show.
Which is probably the first time ever for AEW.
I'm going to see if I can find the quote. But yeah, talk about the match really quick while I look for this fucking quote.
No, the match, I mean, it shows you what Daniel Bryan's been saying he wants to do and what WWE wouldn't let him do, because I don't think he's had a match that hard hitting or that technical since he came back from his return. Like, that match was fucking everything. I mean, his chest was probably about as red as his trunks by the time the fucking match was over. Like, his chest, Kenny Omega literally sexually assaulted his chest, bro. Like, it was.
Yeah, I haven't seen him look that bad since he was in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Right.
And his fucking chest looked like hamburger meat.
Literally.
Yeah, man. I didn't actually want to go to Jim Cornette's damn.
And also, too, for all these fucking Kenny Omega haters, like, this is what he does. There's a reason why he was called the best bout machine. You don't get to see it in AEW, and that's not his fault. They just don't have anybody really on Daniel Bryan's level that he can have that type of match with. Like, that motherfucker, I've always said it. He's the only reason why I watch AEW. Not so much now. Like, Daniel Bryan and them and Lucha Brothers are definitely up there, but this entire time, Kenny Omega.
Tony Khan really has assembled a dream roster by this point.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can't complain about his roster as far as the depth of talent now that are on there and name value. It does not feel like they're lacking that big star. I think Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole closed the gap on the argument of
that was my thing too. I put in a group chat, the biggest pop of the week, even though they had the match of the week, nobody got a bigger pop than Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, and that goes for WWE. Oh, bro. Like, I don't, if anyone says anything different, I don't know what fucking show you were watching. Like, and that's what that's the difference has been for me since all of this has happened with AEW is it still feels like an indie to me, and that's how I'm always going to look at it because they're a startup, but it doesn't feel as indie to me. And just their influence on the matching, the timing, the pacing, all of it, you can tell that they're having an influence on it. And their star power. Like you said, it feels like there are stars in the building. And if you don't think fucking Adam Cole is the biggest star every time he's on the screen, I literally don't know what you're watching. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Like, I don't know what you're looking at or what you're fucking watching because he's bigger than anything in the elite. I mean, I'm sorry, he just is.
No, he is. He is. Absolutely. I share that.
Including Kenny.
Yeah.
Including Kenny.
I think, I mean, honestly, I think Kenny Omega it's his name, the best belt machine. I think
right.
You'll get the best matches out of Kenny. It won't be far behind him, Adam Cole, though.
Exactly.
I found that quote really quick. So Jim Cornette was quoted, I guess, today, I'm assuming on his show. He said, referring to the Archer S Stadium match or event, this is a big-time wrestling show. We've been watching Smackdown. We've seen clips from Raw. Both those shows look like a game show on Nickelodeon. Next to this show, this particular television program was fucking fabulous. Jim Cornette on AEW Grand Slam. Wow, man. Dude, and I love it. I love it that a lot of people that, you know, are referred to as like Cornette stans have turned on the man now. Like
right.
There's part of his own audience. Not saying his whole audience. I'm not going to paint it with that broad stroke of a brush, but there is a good portion of his own audience essentially calling him a shill. Which is
my thing is too, like I listen to Cornette show all the time, and like I agree with almost, I don't even want to say 99. I want to say damn near 100% most of the time. I agree with everything he says, and like I actually agree with this. Like this was an iconic show. Like this was, like I said, wrestling always throws that history making shit out there, but this is going to be a show we look back in history on. Like either the catalyst for AEW springboard into being the number one, or maybe not. Maybe the point where this is where they should have and they didn't. But either way, this is going to be a linchpin in AEW story in the future for sure.
Yeah. Really feels like they're turning a corner, man. We're entering a new phase of AEW programming. Going over to the chat real fast. JJ_Ren says, "Yo, how are you two doing?" I'm doing awesome. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time watching, consider following us, man. Giving us a follow here on Twitch. We're trying to get to 100 followers. Me and RN like to crush it every Sunday or Monday, depending on if there's a pay-per-view, to provide you guys with our outlook on the last week of wrestling. Ant Money 247 from the Mark Order podcast, who sent me those lovely stickers and that letter I went over before he probably got on the stream. He says, "I'd love to know what Cornette thinks about Dan Lambert being Diet Cornette for AEW." You know what? I'd like to hear that too. I guarantee you that's probably the start of this. I bet he's flattered. I honestly bet he's flattered by that. That AEW has the goal to take essentially their biggest criticisms and use it
in a storyline.
How fantastic is that? You know what I mean? Just to be like, you know what? You're right. Let's let you talk shit. I bet it drums up interest.
Right. Well, that's another thing too that AEW doesn't get enough credit for is they don't take themselves that seriously. Like they do to an extent, like with them bringing up WWE all the time, but also too like that, facing the criticism and shit, and him saying everything that people say bad about them on the internet. Dan Lambert says every fucking week, so it's not like that part kind of made me respect him a little too. Like give him a little bit more respect for that. Like letting someone say that shit on your own program every week, no matter what, it's going to have some sort of little bit of chipping away at the armor, I say. But being able to do that and not take yourself as serious to do that, like I think that's actually fucking dope for real.
Yeah, a lot of people would try to silence their critic or ignore them,
Right.
and to show that you have the self-confidence to go ahead and shine a light
Yes.
on it.
Yes.
And shine in spite of it, I think is a fantastic, bold move, and I think it works. SmackDown, I know you probably didn't get a chance to watch. Two things that stuck out to me that, in the grand scheme of things are worth bringing up on this show. First, Montez Ford got to have a singles match with Roman Reigns and really started sparking the conversation this weekend of splitting him and Angelo Dawkins up, because a lot of people are behind the fact that they believe Montez Ford has what it takes to be a single star. I'm pretty much in that boat too. I think Montez Ford's great. I love Angelo Dawkins, but
right.
You see this happen time and time again with tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes some guys, they rise, they get a bigger spotlight, they draw a bigger crowd, and that conversation is usually inevitable. How many true tag teams? They're very few and far between where you never really see the split up. The first people that come to mind are Young Bucks and the Usos.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those guys, granted, Jey Uso got some shine while Jimmy was injured, but that's an exception to the rule.
That's really it, honestly. I guess we could say New Day, they're working on damn near a decade.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. But they have been allowed to be single stars simultaneously between Kofi and Big E. You don't really see that.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm saying like in terms of, like you said, of seeing the breakup coming. Like,
oh, that's true. Yeah, no, you're right. And then also the other thing from SmackDown I think is worth bringing up is it looks like they're finally pulling the trigger with Naomi. She finally turned her attention directly at Sonya and challenging her to a match. Sonya has yet to oblige, but we know that's where this is going. And I think it's fantastic because this whole story is going to get both Naomi and Sonya Deville back on TV, and you need that. And
why is she not in the fucking bloodline? Like, I don't understand. Pull the fucking trigger on this. Like, it's set up perfectly. How can you call it? How can you not connect the dots when one of the dude's wife is right there being shit on the entire fucking show, and the guy that runs the place is not going to fucking throw her a bone? Like, it's so perfectly set up for Roman to come like, we're done with this. You're with us. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or just him saying to Paul, go get her. Don't say a name or anything. Just tell Paul, go get her.
I just doubt WWE wants any female storylines surrounding the bloodline. I bet that's all it comes down to. They think
I guarantee that's all it comes down to. But my thing is like you said, it gets her on TV. It gets her some rub. It gets her to be something she's never been, because she's never really been a heel. And like just seeing her in the back, not you know what I'm saying, being fucking glowing up and all that dumb shit, just serious as fuck, taking bitches out, like starting with what's her name, like that would be fucking dope. I'm sorry, like I've been calling for it for what? Shit, a year now.
Yeah, essentially ever since the first recruitment of the bloodline being Jey Uso. Yeah, or Jey Uso, excuse me. Yeah, you've been calling for it, and I've been right there with you. Like I said, it's going to get both of them back on TV, and we're going to get a secondary female story. So it's rare that WWE will feed us two women's stories simultaneously. So I'm holding out hope, man. I'm holding out hope.
I just hope this doesn't. The thing about it with the Sonya part is, like, she's actually a star now, even though it's not in ring. And I just hope this doesn't take away from that part of the star and that part of her that they're building up.
Yeah. And then lastly, before we get into the pay-per-view, Rampage took place. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to transition so quickly. I just realized.
No, that's it. That's what's next.
Okay. I felt like I
didn't watch SmackDown, so whatever we have for SmackDown is from you.
Right. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had way too much to drink by the time Rampage came on.
Well, I'll tell you, I watched the 6-man tag to start out, and that was fucking fire.
Yeah. Will Hobbs and CM Punk, they didn't put on a classic in the ring, but it was great. And also the return of CM Punk's trunks.
Yep.
I don't know what that weird thing is with the tights that he had going on there.
Self-conscious.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, the Super Click taking on Christian Cage, Jurassic Express. The show from top to bottom was fun.
Yeah.
Nothing too groundbreaking. Like I said, we saw CM Punk wrestle. We saw Adam Cole wrestle. Like you mentioned earlier, Adam Cole got the biggest pop of the week, maybe of the year.
Yeah.
With the
and that's fucking crazy to say on a Friday night at 10 o'clock where nobody really watches.
Right. And then Dan Lambert finally got his team involved. Chris Jericho caught a flying knee from Jorge Masvidal. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, they were all trash besides Masvidal. Masvidal literally looks like he was training.
Dude,
to be a wrestler.
He naturally just looks like a star anyways. I love it.
Well, no, I mean, like, as far as him, like, their working punches and shit and everything, like, everything he was doing looked like he was a wrestler. The rest of those guys were trash. You could see half of their punches not landing or some of them really fucking hitting people and they're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no consistency on how ass they all were except for Masvidal. Like, he looked like a wrestling star or a wrestler in the ring.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of MMA and UFC, you may have caught the Easter egg. That flying knee that he threw is the same method that he used to knock out Ben Askren in UFC. And I love it on Twitter. Askren retweeted the clip saying he wanted royalties. And Masvidal chimed up in the comments that he agreed. I'll say one thing about Ben Askren. That guy, if you don't know about him and everything, he's got a very good sense of humor. The man had a legendary undefeated career, retired. UFC pulled him out of retirement, and then he pretty much got the shit kicked out of him 3 fights in a row, even though he won technically one of them.
Right.
And including the.
He never took himself too seriously. That's why I always liked him. Like he was in on the joke. Like you know what I'm saying? Like always.
Yeah, he knows how to talk some shit too. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
All right, and then I mean the lights out match was fantastic, you guys, but it's really going to pale in comparison to what we're going to talk about with the pay-per-view. Really quick, I got to give shit. I didn't get a promo of the week, but you said you did. So go ahead and let me know what your promo of the week was.
No, I didn't have a promo of the week either. Like
You didn't? Okay. All right. Sorry, man. We won't have the promo of the week this week. We got the match of the week.
I don't really even remember any real promos of the week. Chris Jericho's on Rampage, but like I don't remember any other promos during the week. If I'm being 100% honest.
How about this? We'll say the promo of the week. Here we go. Special honor. Promo of the week goes to the Broken Skull Sessions with Seth Rollins. That was a fantastic listen.
Hell yeah, fire!
There you go. That's the promo of the week. It's the whole podcast. Go listen to it. That's our promo of the week for you guys. All right, let's talk about last night's pay-per-view. We got 20 minutes before Raw starts, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about this one. I mentioned earlier that I appreciated how the pay-per-view was structured. You said you have an issue with it still being called Extreme Rules.
Yeah, that's like that's the only thing. If it just wasn't called Extreme Rules, this would have been a A+, A- pay-per-view. But when you go ahead.
Do you think that's because like I said, I brought up Fatal 4-Way as a pay-per-view that, it was headlined by the Fatal 4-Way. Is your issue is because this title's been previously used, and its whole shtick was every match had a gimmick,
right? And that's
why they shouldn't have used it like this.
My thing is, what they should do is they should go besides the big 5, because Money in the Bank is a major now. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Money in the Bank is a major pay-per-view now. Yeah. So the big 5, keep those the same and go back to doing it in your house every month, where it's just whatever the fuck it is, like in your house. The demon comes or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something to where, because all these stupid ass pay-per-views that don't mean nothing, that used to mean something back in the day. Like, we always know, like Backlash. Was it Backlash right after WrestleMania? Was the WrestleMania rematches? You know what I'm saying? Like, we knew what every pay-per-view was. Extreme Rules, they just brought back ECW. Already won the title there. Like, everything should be fucking extreme, no holds barred Extreme Rules in the Hammerstein Ballroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has too much history and baggage attached to it. Just cut the shit out. Go back to in your house.
Yeah, I get you with that. I think that In Your House has found a home with NXT, but I think you're on to something with. See, my whole issue with them creating unique pay-per-views for their B1s again is we got a taste of this the other year, and it fed us great balls of fire. And I'm scared to let WWE title some new pay-per-views when the last time we got one, it was great balls of fire.
But we got Fastlane too, which is actually a fucking good one on the Fastlane of WrestleMania. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they come up with some good ones.
Yeah, I hate Fastlane, but that's an argument for another day.
I hate the pay-per-view itself and what it normally consists of.
Yeah.
But the actual name, I don't have an issue.
It made sense. Yeah, it made sense. Right. Plus, not to mention, I mean, WWE's got like such a huge back catalog on pay-per-view IPs ranging from not only their own, but WCW and
exactly.
ECW.
Use some of those.
Yeah, you really could. I mean, hell, Cody Rhodes has quietly been like picking away at him.
Like Halloween Havoc should be a fucking thing every year.
Dude, the fact that we don't have an annual Halloween Havoc.
Well, we might get it with NXT now, especially now with this 2.0 bullshit. Like they might come out
the gate. Halloween Havoc last
year. They did it with. Remember they did it with Shotzi was the like MC of the thing, which was fucking dope.
Bama says bring back Vengeance, Unforgiven, and Armageddon, and cut Hell in the Cell, TLC, Extreme Rules. I 100% agree with that. Vengeance, Unforgiven, Armageddon, those literally can be applied loosely to
anything
going on.
Well, the same with Backlash. Like, we always knew that Backlash was WrestleMania Backlash. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that shit was for. Yeah. Or Night of Champions. Like, Night of Champions is the only gimmick one that I ever liked because they had 45 different titles, and that whole pay-per-view was just title matches. Like, that was my favorite. That was my favorite gimmick one. Like, all the belts on the line. Let's go.
Yeah, man. No, right there with you. All right, let's break this pay-per-view down really quick. Liv Morgan and Carmella got moved to the pre-show. Honestly, I think you and I are going to copy and paste the compliment that every match was a good match. Like there wasn't a dud on the whole card.
And even though that match was kind of sloppy to me, I think they just needed to slow down, but I think they were both just so hyped up to actually fucking make the show. Like, I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even trying to be funny. Like, it just felt a little fast. Like, I think if they had slowed it down just a little bit, it wouldn't have been as sloppy. But, I mean, you could tell fucking Liv. It almost was like, I don't want to say orgasm, but it was almost like she literally just, like, blew a load after that match. Like, you kind of see... You know what I'm saying? Like the monkey off her back. Like I finally got on the fucking pay-per-view, even though it was the pre-show. Like you could just see kind of like a release after she won. So I would go for that.
It's you got on a pay-per-view and they didn't throttle you to like some quick like 3 to 5 minute match. They gave
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
They gave them meaningful spots. She hit that turnbuckle spot from the previous SmackDown to Carmella on the table.
Right.
You know, so they were able to bring back the story. I mean, yeah, it was a decent match. There was an impromptu match, the New Day with taking on Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. Once again, great match, and it helped set up tonight's kickoff because throughout the 6-man tag, towards the end, Bobby Lashley blind tags himself in. Misses the spear on Big E. However, spears AJ Styles and eats a big ending, giving the New Day the win. Later on, cuts a promo backstage, calls Big E a chicken shit. And
we already know AJ's going to cost him in this match now. I mean,
yeah,
the writing's on the fucking wall. I mean,
yeah.
That's the only thing I hated, how they set it up like that. Like, you know, it's not going to be a good. They'll probably put on a good 20-minute match probably, but you know AJ and Omos is going to cause some shit.
That or Big E will just get another like clean win and send Bobby Lashley off to SmackDown. That's the other rumor.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting the draft.
Yeah.
Starts Friday.
Just kind of give Big E one more big win, and then Bobby Lashley can just get a fresh restart on SmackDown.
Right.
Where he can job to Roman Reigns. Yeah. Big E also cut I forget what his promo. He said something funny in there. They were both cussing, but but Biggie accepted, and like I said, that's what's going to kick off Raw. I thought that was smart to see. I just my observation that maybe Brian Danielson and Kenny Omega maybe lit a fire under Vince or creative on Raw and been like, you know what, there is something to kicking off a show with one of the biggest matches of the week,
right?
You know, and so that's. I mean, I'm more excited for Raw because of I know it's going to kick off.
Let's just be honest, Raw's been fucking good the last 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, well, last month.
I would say
Raw's been good.
I only agree with the last week.
I mean, I'm not saying it was like knocked out the park, but I mean, compared to the horse shit we've been having to tread through for the last 6 months, the last month of Raw has been watchable.
I felt like the last week's Raw was the first glimpse of the thing that you've always heard for years about how competition creates the better product.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the impression I got from Raw last week. Was like that felt like the first glimpse of them trying to be competitive. In my eyes, that's how I took it. And then the tag team match, Street Profits and Usos. Like I said, I feel like I'm being broken right. Solid match. Story here: Montez Ford was selling the rib injuries from his previous match on Smackdown with Roman Reigns. This allowed the Usos to pick up the win. And then here comes one of the first weird things of the night. The match between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. So Alexa's in her hometown. So, I mean, you know that's a loss. And not only is it a loss, she wasn't allowed to stand tall. Charlotte Flair rips up the doll. Afterwards, is attacked by Alexa Bliss. Beats down Alexa, so she's just completely beaten. And then Alexa Bliss cries for what feels like 3 hours on camera.
It literally took her 25 minutes to get the hell out of there. Like, what? Like, wrap this shit up.
I felt like they fed her like an Alka-Seltzer or something. They wanted her to foam from the mouth.
And it didn't work.
It didn't work, and you could literally see the tablet in her mouth, and then like she just kind of like drooled. And it fell flat. I saw a rumor she's going to be taken off TV for a little while. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it, but I don't know. I don't know anything. I mean, I'm hoping the Lily doll's gone. I'm a man in my 30s, okay? I'm just not into dolls.
I mean, I'm not into the rest. This gimmick. She's not even into this gimmick. She's made that very clear. Like it's run its course. Hopefully, she gets to go to SmackDown and fucking be herself.
Yeah. I completely agree. Charlotte Flair looked good though. We'll see what's next for Charlotte. She had some really badass Venom gear going on. I love like Charlotte's homage to like pop culture and all of her pay-per-view outfits. Yeah, I thought that was badass. The triple threat between Damien Priest, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy. Boy, the crowd wanted Jeff to win.
Oh,
God,
Jesus, these fucking people.
Every time you think Jeff Hardy is down and out, boy, the crowd just riles behind this guy. They all had a fun match. Damien Priest, Sheamus hit, I believe, the bro kick on Jeff, and then Damien Priest rolled up Sheamus for the win. I think Damien should have hit the Reckoning. It still would have protected him, but made him look stronger.
Right.
But other than that, I can't complain.
This match went how we thought. Well, actually, we didn't. We both thought Jeff would eat the pin, but he didn't.
Yeah, no, that was the part that we were off. Thought Jeff was in there just to eat the L, and it was Sheamus. Okay, and then the final two, like kind of co-main event and main event. Becky Lynch and Bianca Bel-Air. Dude, all right, let's start off. Becky Lynch ain't missed a step.
No.
She's got
not at all.
I think she had like 5 or 6. Bama, I think, counted them at one point. But she added about 5 or 6 new moves to her arsenal. Mm-hmm. Storytelling was on point. Bianca looked fantastic. These girls killed it. With that being said, the ending fucking sucked.
It fucked us all up because we all picked Becky to win.
It broke my bracket in predictions. Okay,
And
So, for one, there's this really cool spot. Becky Lynch has been attempting to get the cross arm breaker on Bianca throughout the whole match. She finally locks it in, and Bianca essentially deadlifts her up into the KOD. One of the best.
not essentially, she fucking did. She straight fucking picked her up while she's hanging on her arm.
Yeah.
And turned it into the KOD.
And right before she hits it, Sasha Banks comes in, interferes, causes the DQ win for Bianca. Becky, of course, retains her title. And I will say this, Becky Lynch looking nervous, like not knowing how to greet Sasha was pretty funny. Right. Before Sasha attacked her as well. It looks like this is probably setting up some triple threat angle between the three. Couple takeaways here. A, you could have saved this for tomorrow, but WWE would have been forced to do something they don't like to do, and that's book a winner.
Right.
And then, shit, what was my other point? God damn it. I fucking lost it.
My point is Sasha looked fucking good. Like,
yeah.
Real good.
Yeah, man. She did. Like I said, Becky looked good. Oh, the other thing was, this is definitely not my thought. I just agreed with this. I was watching a Wrestle Talk video, and there was some concern about Bianca lingering around this title picture with not much happening, and there was some concern if we don't handle this correctly, she could end up looking like Drew McIntyre, just hanging out around that title without really causing too big of an impact, and it's not what I want, man. I really... Man, I don't know how to put it. I'm not enraged because we still have to wait and see. I don't want to go off on too much of.
And it's only been one match. Like, it's not like she's hanging around the title picture. No, she's getting her fucking rematch. She just lost the belt last month, and then she hasn't had any interaction really. No, but she hasn't had another match though.
But what I'm saying is, we know WWE, and we have an active and available Sasha Banks, an active and available Becky Lynch. How many times have we seen that where there's somebody else that's just one step away from huge stardom, and they just they don't push them because we still have our old favorites here, you know? And so that's my concern. Is
well, my thing is too is like why would you bring back Sasha to be? Sasha is the ultimate heel in women's wrestling, and then you're trying to push Becky as a heel. Like, how much heel heat are you going to be able to give Becky with Sasha around? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lean into Becky being a heel anymore.
I don't think that. I think they finally was like, this ain't working. Taking too long. Abandon ship.
Yeah, we have Sasha. Sasha could be the heel. Becky can be the tweener again.
Right.
So, like I said, we have a confusing road ahead of us with the three, and I'm just concerned. I want Bianca to get the shine that woman deserves because she's fucking amazing.
Well, my thing is like, I kind of like the confusion because we don't know what's going to happen for fucking ever. Finally, we don't really know what's going to happen in this title picture. Like, it's not muddled, but it's enough mystery to where I don't think they can fuck Bianca up. If I'm being like, they can. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think her star power and what she does in the ring and just her aura and presence, I don't think that they need much to fuck it up. And then if you throw Sasha and Becky being a part of it, I don't think that they would let them fuck her up or give her some stupid shit that doesn't make sense now after her extension. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they would protect her as well. So I'm intrigued. I don't say I'm looking forward to it because I really just wish it was Bianca staying the champ and her and Becky going back and forth. But I am intrigued that a new element was entered and that Bianca's still involved in the title picture.
Yeah, man. Something else that's confused people, though, is did God interfere with the main event? So God has returned since his infamous tag match with Shawn Michaels against Vince and Shane. Yeah, man, this is weird. So the main event was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So many spots to cover. The brawling in the crowd. Roman putting a mask on around the fans. That was an interesting little pop. There was some good table spots, some near falls. Finn Balor kicking out of a spear with the low blow that Roman hit him in the previous months. So many cool things. We get to like the climax of the match. and the Usos are interfering. Finn Balor dispatches both the Usos. He powerbombs one of them through a table. Fantastic.
Which was fucking raw. Like, I didn't know. I was like, what the hell is he doing? Like, I didn't think he can get him up. And it still was a little bit of a struggle, but he got him up and it did. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, that was fucking raw.
Yeah, man. That was dope. Finn gets speared through the barricade.
Which I'm sick of that fucking spot.
Yeah, man. If that ain't the most played out, damn. Just like one of like, here's our Hillsborough breakaway barricade toy.
Right.
Finn's laid out. Red light hits. His heartbeat from his music happens, and then he kind of just does like this little like shit on the ground, which looked just as bad as me doing it.
Right. I understand the concept of it, and I was kind of into it, but the execution of it, like.
So I don't hate it.
Right.
My criticism falls somewhere else. Then you have that like that the ghost arising noise. I don't know what the fuck called it. Where Finn finally pops up. I guess he's really possessed by the demon.
Right.
He does like a shotgun drop kick to Roman. Roman goes through a table. He throws Roman in the ring. He's about to hit the coup de grace. There's smoke, red light, music still playing. You can barely see Finn on the top ropes.
Yeah.
The turnbuckle gives way. Finn falls down, eats a spear. Roman retains and literally points up to the sky, motioning God is apparently a Roman fan and heel in WWE. Man.
Which makes sense in WWE, that God would be ill.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus Christ. So, honestly, I think it's a terrible ending. I love the memes of Finn out there. If anything, go check out Warren Hayes. He timed it to SpongeBob SquarePants on the floor and flubbing like a fish. Oh, it's so good. And Kenny for Your Thoughts has a good one too. But the thing about it is like that what to me was a cool spot you just wasted. You could have used that for him to win a belt, a feud. That is you literally could have just done the turnbuckle spot.
Literally.
You literally could have just relied on the weird turnbuckle spot. You would have got the same results and you would have had that shit in your back pocket. Yeah, I don't know, man. So I thought it was a waste because now you can't do that. You can't do that again.
That's what I said. Like the execution, the thought of it, and why no one else has tried to do that before. Like I dug it. Like I got it, especially with the supernatural aspects. You're trying to not recreate the Undertaker, but have something like the Undertaker in your back pocket. Like I'm all right with that. Like I wasn't mad at it. It was just like you said, the fucking I don't know whatever the convulsions he had, and then I still don't get the fucking part with the turnbuckle. Like it's
yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it.
Divine intervention, my friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it, man. I think the pay-per-view overall was good, but I think it's how you leave them though. And all people are going to talk about is the ending of that pay-per-view, and they're going to shit on it. You know what I mean? No one's going to call back like the decent matches that happened throughout the card because they're all 100% overshadowed by the finish.
And that's the part, like the WWE, they always do this to themselves. They always shoot themselves in the fucking foot. Like, who came up with that? Like, you had this banking ass fucking pay-per-view finally where there's nothing for anybody to complain about throughout the night besides the Extreme Rules shit. That's it. And then you pull that out your fucking ass. Like, it's like they go out of their way to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I often criticize AEW with, and it was they just completely overthought it.
Literally.
Yeah, they just completely overthought that finish. I usually like a really overbooked finish. That's one of the few ones I'm just like, that ain't it, bro.
Nah.
With that being said, though, that concludes this episode of The Rewind. Didn't really do too much self-plugging earlier, so I'm going to get that in really quick. Please, obviously, if you're listening to us live, follow us here on Twitch. Help us get to that first 100 subscribers or followers. Thank you to everyone that followed us on YouTube. This is our first show that we've done since we surpassed 300 subscribers on YouTube. Please join those guys. Hit that like and subscribe and notification bell. just in case you never hit a live stream. Lastly, financially, you can support us on patreon.com/smackdroppodcast. Got a bevy of rewards. I think I'm going to look into the reward tiers tomorrow. I've been kind of strapped for cash in the show's funds, so we haven't really been able to come up with new merchandise. So that's kind of put a halter to it. But we have good things coming there. And then if you want to give us a one-time donation, paypal.me/smackdrawpod. And we, like I said, we appreciate everything. It all goes back into the show. Lastly, you can follow myself at The Kai Tai Show on Twitter, the show at SmackDrawPod. RN, where can they find all your shit?
At Mr.8984 on Twitter. Go ahead, hit me with the hashtag MuteRN. Give me some ideas for some rants to do. Keep the MuteRN segment going. What is it? Just go look up Mean Jelly Bean Productions on YouTube and Mean Jelly Bean Memes on Facebook. And if you're looking for a fire-ass Frenchie, at Route 4 Kennel on IG.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And I want to give a special shout-out to JJ_Ren for joining us in the chat tonight. They stuck through, and Ant Money 24/7 from the Mark Order Pod cast. Thank you guys for supporting.
Thanks, fellas.
Fantastic night. Let's go ahead and enjoy Raw, and we'll catch you guys next time on the Rewind. Have a good one.
See y'all Sunday.